Srimad Bhagavatam study class. Reading from Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 9, The Passing Away of Bhishma Deva. And today's verses 42 to 44. 42 first. Tam imam aham sharira ajam sharira bhajam hridi dishtidam atma kalpitanam pradidrisham iva na ekada arkam ekam samadhigada asmi vidhuda vedamoha tamimam mahamajam sharirabhajam hृदि दिष्टिदाम आत्मकल्पितानाम प्रतिदिशम इवा नैकाधिगमार्कम प्रतिदिशम इवा आर्कमेगम समाधिगतोऽस्मि विभूतभेदमोहा तमिमम् अहम् अजं शरीरभाजाम् हृदि आत्मकल्पितानाम् प्रतिदिशम् इव नैकधार्कमेगम् समाधिगतोऽस्मि विभूतभेदमोहा तमिमम् अहम् अजं शरीरभाजाम् हृदि आत्मकल्पितानाम् प्रतिदृशम् इव नैकधार्कमेगम् समाधिगतोऽस्मि विभूतभेदमोहा हरे कृष्ण शैलजा जी
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। तमिमम् अहम् अजं शरीरभाजाम् हृदि हृदि दिष्टिदम् आत्मकल्पितानां प्रतिदृशमिव नैकदार्थमेकं समधिगतोऽस्मि विदूतभेदमोह। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण मनोहरि माजी।
हरे कृष्ण। तमिममहमजं शरीरभाजं हृदि हृदि दिष्टिदमात्मकल्पितानां प्रतिदृशमिव नाकादिकार्कमेकं समाधिगतोऽस्मि विदूतभेदमोहः। हरे कृष्ण।
मिलिंदा माजी।
हरे कृष्ण। तमिमम् अहमजं शरीरभाजां हृदि हृदि दिष्टितम् आत्मकल्पितानां प्रतिदृशम् इवानेकधार्कम् एकं समाधिगतो अस्मि विदुता भेदमोह। May I read, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Tam, that personality of Godhead, Imam, now present before me, Aham, I, Ajam, the unborn, Sharirabhajam, of the conditioned soul, Riddhi, in the heart, Dishtitam, situated, Atma, the super soul, Kalpitanam, of the speculators, pratidrisham in every direction, eva like na ekada, not one, arkam the sun, ekam the only, samadhi gata asmi, I have undergone trance and meditation, viduta being freed from Veda Moha misconception of duality. Translation. Now I can meditate with full concentration upon that one Lord, Shri Krishna, now present before me, because I have transcended the misconceptions of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart, even in the hearts of the mental speculators. He is in everyone's heart. The sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. Lord Shri Krishna is the one absolute supreme personality of Godhead, but he has expanded himself into his multiplenary portions by his inconceivable energy. The conception of duality is due to ignorance of his unconceivable energy. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.11, the Lord says that only the foolish take him to be a mere human being. Such foolish men are not aware of his inconceivable energies. By his inconceivable energy, he is present in everyone's heart as the sun is present before everyone all over the world. The Paramatma feature of the Lord is an expansion of his plenary portions. He expands himself as Paramatma in everyone's heart by his inconceivable energy, and he also expands himself as the glowing effulgence of Brahma Jyoti by expansion of his personal glow. It is stated in the Brahma Samhita that the Brahma Jyoti is his personal glow. Therefore, there is no difference between him and his personal glow Brahma Jyoti or his plenary portions as Paramatma. Less intelligent persons who are not aware of this fact consider Brahma Jyoti and Paramatma to be different from Shri Krishna. This misconception of duality is completely removed from the mind of Bhishma Deva, and he is now satisfied that it is Lord Shri Krishna only who is all in everything. This enlightenment is attained by the great Mahatmas or devotees, as it is stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.19, that Vasudeva is all in everything, and that there is no existence of anything without Vasudeva. Vasudeva or Lord Shri Krishna is the original supreme person, as now confirmed by a Mahajana, and therefore both the neophytes and the pure devotees must try to follow in his footsteps. That is the way of the devotional line. The worshipable object of Bhishma Deva is Lord Shri Krishna as Partha Sarthi, and that of the gopis is the same Krishna in Vrindavan as the most attractive Shama Sundara. Sometimes less intelligent scholars make a mistake and think that the Krishna of Vrindavana and that of the battle of Kurukshetra, are different personalities. But for Bhishma Deva, this misconception is completely removed. Even the impersonalist object of destination is Krishna as the impersonal Jyoti, and the yogi's destination of Paramatma is also Krishna. Krishna is both Brahma Jyoti and localized Paramatma, but in Brahma Jyoti or Paramatma, there is no Krishna or sweet relations with Krishna. In his personal feature, Krishna is both Parthasarthi and Shyamasundara of Vrindavana, but in his impersonal feature, he is neither in the Brahma Jyoti nor in the Paramatma. Great Mahatmas like Bhishma Deva realize all these different features of Lord Sri Krishna, and therefore they worship Lord Krishna, knowing him as the origin of all features. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. 43. Sudavajam
Suta
Krishna
Uvacha Krishna
Evam
Krishna
Evam
evam
Bhagavadi
Bhagavati
Bhagavati
Manovag Drishti Vrittivi
Manovag
Manavag
Drishti
Drishti
Vrittibhi
Vrittibhi
Atmani
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 Atmanam
Atmana
Atmanam
Aveshya
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 Sa
Sa
Sudha
Andashwasa
Antashvasa
Andashwasa
Paramat.
Uparamat
Uparamat
Suta Vacha.
Suta Uvacha
Sudavaja
Krishnamevam Bhagavati.
Krishna
Krishna
evam
evam
bhagavati
bhagavati
Mano Vagdrishti Vrittivi.
Manovag
Manovag
drishti
drishti
vrittivi
viddevi
Atmanyatmanamaveshya.
Atmanyam
Atmanyatmana navisha
atmanamavesha
Swandashvasa Paramat.
Sondashwasa Uparamat
Mara
Suta
Upara
Vacha.
Suta Uvacha
Sudavaja
Krishna evam Bhagavati.
Krishna
Krishna
evam
evam
bhagavati
bhagavati
Mano Vagdrishti Vrittivi.
Manovag
Manovag
drishti
drishti
vrittivi
vrittivi
Atmanyatmanamaveshya.
Atmanyatmana
Atmanyalmanamavesha
mavisha
Swandashvasa Paramat.
Sondashwasa Uparamat
Uparamat
Suta Vacha.
Suta Uvacha
Sudavaja
Krishnamevam Bhagavati.
Krishna
Krishna
evam
evam
bhagavati
bhagavati
Mano Vagdrishti Vrittivi.
Manovag drishti
Manovag drishti
vrittivi
vrittivi
Atmanyatmanamaveshya.
Atmanyatmana
Atmanyalmanamavesha
mavisha
Swandashvasa Paramat.
So
Sondashwasa
Vandavashya
Uparamat
Uparamat
Sharajamati.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Sudavaja Krishna evam bhagavati Manovag drishti vrittivi Atmanyalmanamavesha So andashwasa Uparamat Hare Krishna
Right. Manohari. Hari Maji. Manohari. Zero mute. Okay, Melinda Maji.
Hare Krishna Suta
Hare
Uvacha
Krishna.
Krishna evam bhagavati Manovag drishti vrittivi Atmanyatmanamaveshya So antah shvasa uparamat
Right.
Suta Uvacha, Suta Goswami said, Krishna, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Evam, only, Bhagavati, unto him, Manaha, with mind, Vak, speech, Drishti, sight, Vritibhihi, activities, Atmani, unto the Supreme, unto the Super Soul, Atmana, the living being, Avesha, have merged in, Saha, he, Antashvasaha, inhaling, Uparamat, became silent. Translation Suta Goswami said, thus Bhishma Deva merged himself in the Super Soul, Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight, and actions, and thus he became silent, and his breathing stopped. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. The stage attained by Bhishma Deva while quitting his material body is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi because he merged his self into thinking of the Lord and his mind into remembering his different activities. He chanted the glories of the Lord, and by his sight he began to see the Lord personally present before him, and thus all his activities became concentrated upon the Lord without deviation. This is the highest stage of perfection, and it is possible for everyone to attain this stage by practice of devotional service. The devotional service of the Lord consists of 9 principles of service activities, and they are first, 1. Hearing, second, chanting, third, remembering, fourth, serving the lotus feet, fifth, worshipping, sixth, praying, seventh, executing the orders, eighth, fraternizing, and ninth, fully surrendering. Any one of them or all of them are equally competent to award the desired result, but they require to be practiced persistently under the guidance of an expert devotee of the Lord. The first item, hearing, is a most important item of all, and therefore hearing of the Bhagavad Gita and later on Srimad Bhagavatam is essential for the serious candidate who wants to attain the state of Bhishma Deva at the end. The unique situation at Bhishma Deva's time of death can be attained even though Lord Krishna may not be personally present. His words of the Bhagavad Gita or those of Srimad Bhagavatam are identical with the Lord. They are sound incarnations of the Lord, and one can fully utilize them to be entitled to attain the stage of Sri Bhishma Deva, who was one of the 8 Vasus. Every man or animal must die at a certain stage of life, but one who dies like Bhishma Deva attains perfection, and one who dies forced by the laws of nature dies like an animal. That is the difference between a man and an animal. The human form of life is especially meant for dying like Bhishma Deva. Hare Krishna.
Text 44. Sampadyamanam
Sampadyamanam
Ajnaya
Agnaya
Bhishmam
Bhishmam
Brahmani
Brahmani
Nishkale
Nishkale
Sarve
Sarve
Babhuhu
Babuvu
Te
Te
Tushnim
Tushni
तुष्णि
Vayamsi
वयांसि
Vayamsi
Iva
इव
Va
Dina Atyaye
Tina
दिन
Atyaye
अत्ति
Sambadhyamanam Ajnaya
Sampadyamanam
सम्पद्यमानमाज्ञाय
Ajnaya
Bhishmam Brahmani Nishkale
Bhishmam
भीष्मं
Brahmani
ब्रह्मणि
Nishkale
निष्कळे
सर्वे बभूवस्तु तूष्णीम्
Sarve
सर्वे बभूवुस्ते
Babute
तूष्णीं
Tushnim
वयांसि वा दिनात्ये
Vayamsi
वयांसि
Vadinatye
वादिनाति
सम्बध्यमानमाज्ञाय
Sampadyamanam
सम्बद्यमानमाज्ञाय
Ajnaya
भीष्मम् ब्रह्मणि निष्कले
Bhishmam Brahmani
भीष्मं ब्रह्मणि
Nishkale
निष्कळे
सर्वे बभूवस्ते तूष्णीम्
Sarve
सर्वे
Babute
बभूवस्ते
Nushnim
तूष्णीं
वयांसि वा दिनात्ये
Vayamsi
वयांसि
Vadinatye
वादिनाति
सम्बध्यमानमाज्ञाय
Sampadyamanam
सम्बद्यमानमाज्ञाय
Ajnaya
भीष्मम् ब्रह्मणि निष्कले
Bhishmam
भीष्मं
Brahmani
ब्रह्मणि निष्कळे
Nishkale
सर्वे बभूवस्ते तूष्णीम्
Sarve
सर्वे
Babute
बभूवुस्ते
Tushnim
तूष्णीं
वयांसि वा दिनात्ये
Vayamsi
वयांसि
Vadinatye
वादिनाति
हरे कृष्ण
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
सहजमन
सम्बद्य या हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय सम्बन्ध्यमानमाज्ञाय भीष्मं ब्रह्मणि निष्कळे सर्वे बभूवुस्ते तूष्णीं वयांसि वदिनात्यये हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्ण मनोहरी माजी
हरे कृष्ण सम्बध्यमानामाज्ञाय भीष्मं ब्रह्मणि निष्कले सर्वे बभूवुस्ते तूष्णीं वयां शिवादीनत्यये हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
मेरी माजी
Sampadyamanam Agnaya Bhishmam Brahmani Nishkale Sarve Bhabhuvoste Tushnim Vayamsi Vadinatyaye.
राइट
Sampadyamanam, having merged into Agnaya, after knowing this, Bhishmam, about Sri Bhishma Deva, Brahmani, into the Supreme Absolute, Nishkale, unlimited, Sarve, all present, Babhuvute, all of them became Tushnim, silent, Vayamsi Eva, like birds, Dina Atyaye, at the end of the day. Translation: knowing that Bhishma Deva had merged into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute, all present there became silent, like birds, at the end of the day. Purport: by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. To enter into or to become merged into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute means to enter the original home of the living being. The living beings are all component parts and parcel of the absolute personality of Godhead, and therefore they are eternally related with Him as the servitor and the served. The Lord is served by all His parts and parcel as the complete machine is served by its parts and parcel. Any part of the machine removed from the whole is no longer important. Similarly, any part and parcel of the Absolute detached from the service of the Lord is useless. The living beings who are in the material world are all disintegrated parts and parcel of the Supreme Whole, and they are no longer as important as the original parts and parcels. There are, however, more integrated living beings who are eternally liberated. The material energy of the Lord, called Durga Shakti, or the superintendent of the prison house, takes charge of the disintegrated parts and parcel, and thus they undergo a conditioned life under the laws of material nature. When the living being becomes conscious of this fact, he tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and thus the spiritual urge of the living being begins. This spiritual urge is called Brahma Jignasa or inquiry about Brahman. Principally, this Brahma Jignasa is successful by knowledge, renunciation, and devotional service to the Lord. Jnana or knowledge means knowledge of everything of Brahman, the Supreme. Renunciation means detachment of material affection, and devotional service is the revival by practice of the original position of the living being. The successful living beings who are eligible to enter into the realm of the Absolute are called the Gyanis, the Yogis, and the Bhaktas. The Gyanis and the Yogis enter into the impersonal rays of the Supreme, but the Bhaktas enter into the spiritual planets known as Vaikunthas. In these spiritual planets, the Supreme Lord, as Narayana, predominates, and the healthy, unconditioned living beings live there by rendering loving service to the Lord in the capacity of servant, friend, parents, and fiancé. There, the unconditioned living beings enjoy life in full freedom with the Lord, whereas the impersonalists, jnanis, and yogis enter into the impersonal glowing effulgence of the Vaikuntha planets. The Vaikuntha planets are all self illuminating like the sun, and the rays of the Vaikuntha planets are called the Brahmajyoti. The Brahmajyoti is spread unlimitedly, and the material world is but a covered portion of an insignificant part of the same Brahmajyoti. This covering is temporary, and therefore it is a sort of illusion. Bhishma Deva, as a pure devotee of the Lord, entered the spiritual realm in one of the Vaikuntha planets, where the Lord, in his eternal form of Partha Sarthi, predominates over the unconditioned living beings who are constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. The love and affection which bind the Lord and devotees are exhibited in the case of Bhishma Deva. Bhishma Deva never forgot the Lord in his transcendental feature as a Partha Sarthi, and the Lord was present personally before Bhishma Deva while he was passing to the transcendental world. That is the highest perfection of life. Hare Krishna.
ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता शिवशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवासभानवी देवी दैत्याय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञानदायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योजन प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगा भक्तिदा गौरकरुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्ते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्री दीनय मूतदानये Rubanuga Virdha Dandharine. Namo Gaurakishoraya Sachal Vairagyamurte Vipralambara Sambode Padambuje Te Namaha. Nama Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Surubaya Rubanuga Varayate Gauravir Babu Me Samnurdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannadhaya Te Namaha Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Echai Goshai Kori Charan Bandhan Jahamota Vignash Abhishta Puran Vancha Kalpadruvestigva Sindhuvyeva Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayade Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratyushe Namam Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktigam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagalpade Gopesha Gopiga Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Jayadam Sirdo Bango Mamandavade Gri Matsarvasvadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vrindaranya Srimad Nagara Simhasanasto Srimad Radha Shira Govinda Devo Preshthali Visevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasarasarambi Vamshi Vadat Kashan Venusunair Govi Govinada Shriyetunam Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
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 Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Rama,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare
Rama Rama Hare
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 Rama, Rama, Hare
Tamimamaham ajam sharirabhajam hृदि दिष्टिदाम आत्मकल्पितानां प्रदिग्दिशम इवा नैगधार्तमैगम समाधिगतोऽस्मि विदूतभेदमोहा. Now I can meditate full concentration upon that one Lord, Sri Krishna, now present before me, because now I have transcended the misconceptions of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart, even in the hearts of mental speculators. He is in everyone's heart. Sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one. Hare Krishna. So these are the verses describing the glorious passing away of Bhishma Deva. So Bhishma Deva, finally he is expressing his the real Surupa of his real relationship with Krishna. As every one of us has got a special relation with Krishna in many types of relationships, as Dasa, friend, as a father or mother, or a lover. These are the primary rasas, and every single living entity has got his own special relation with Krishna, and the purpose of realization, or the real goal of realization, is to understand the relationship which we are having with Krishna. So Vishwadeva has realized this, and he now states boldly that his desire is to have a relationship with the Parthasarathi form of Krishna. He is in chivalrous mood. He resides in chivalrous rasa. So he wants to associate. He wants to associate Krishna as. So we can see that in the Vaikuntha planets, in the Golok Vrindavan planets itself, there are so many forms of Krishna, and Parthasarathi form is also one form. So those who are interested, and those who are desirous, or those who are having this kind of relationship with Krishna, they go to that planet. And of course, Bhishma Deva, he knows that there are higher gradation also. He considers Arjuna to be more personally related to Krishna than he himself. And beyond Arjuna also, it may sometimes say that of the associated prema, Arjuna is the chief, but no, it is gopis are the best. This Vishwadeva gives the verse 40, very nice verse, that is Lalita Gati Vilasa Valguhasa Pranaya Nirikshana Kalpida Varamanam Kridam Anugritavatya Unmadandha Pragadim Agangila Yasya Gopavattva. So gopis are worshipped by Krishna's expert actions. So Krishna is here, you can see, worshipping gopis. And how he is worshipping gopis? By acts like dancing in the rasa dance, Dasa Leela, expressing mental qualities such as Dhira Lalita, and then experts in words, joking. Krishna is an expert joker. He jokes with gopis, he jokes with gopas. He said that it's very, everyone desires to hear Krishna's words again and again in the form of joking mood. And experts in the glance also, experts in the eyes by glancing, Niriksha. And these words, these types of dancing, singing, joking, and the Nirikshana glances are all aspects of prema. These are aspects of prema. And gopis are worshipped by this skillful display of Krishna. So Krishna can say he is holding no bars. There is no restriction at all now. So that is why this word is called, it is said that Kridam, he is expressing himself and always, and that is a form of worship for the gopis only. So gopis are the foremost quality and the object of worship of Krishna. So this worship of control of Krishna by the gopis. So Krishna is always controlled by the gopis, especially Radharani, and is filled with great bliss also. The control of Arjuna is also there, and in that control, Krishna acts as a messenger and charioteer. But these have got some restraints on the both parties. But in the case of gopis, so Bhishma is understanding this, is totally unrestrained. So these extraordinary qualities of Krishna, like dancing, songs, speech, the Rasalila, he is teaching. The gopis are responding exactly like Krishna. So Kridam Anugridam, whatever Krishna is exhibiting, gopis are also doing the same way. And Vishwanath Chakravarti says that there is no need to teach them anything, and they need no practice also. In our case, we need to be taught. We learn something, and after learning something, we practice again and again, so that we don't forget. First, we try to understand, then we practice very hard. But in case of gopis, there is no need for them to teach anything, or they don't need any practice also. So that is the highest of all the rasas, and Bhishmadeva understands this. Bhishmadeva understands that, yes, okay, understand this, okay. This worship is gopis, but he is happy with his relation with Krishna as prophesied. So the gradation of the devotees, there is higher and lower also, and the highest is gopis. But one gopi, a living entity who is satisfied with his relation to Krishna, has not got no envy with the other devotees, pure devotees, who may be highly placed, because he is happy with Krishna's in this particular relations. So, Imam, this form of Krishna with a bridle in his left hand and whip in his right hand, and the chariot flying with great speed over the terrain of the Kurukshetra battleground, and with dust flowing out of the dust accumulating in his hair getting loose, and the hair is flowing, and the hair is full of dust also, and his body is all full of wounds, and blood is sipping from this body. This form of Krishna is what Vishnu Deva, for him it is a object of worship, and which is most pleasing for him also. So towards the end of his life, when he's almost stopping breathing, so when he's remembering this form of Krishna, then definitely he will reach that planet where this Parthasarathi form of Krishna is there. So in this verse, Srila Prabhupada mentions that all the forms of Krishna, all the different forms of Krishna, and expansions of Krishna, great expansions of Krishna, like this Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti is expansion of his personal growth, and then his expansion in everyone's heart as Paramatma, and then the Bhagavan form, and different forms of Krishna. They're all one and only. There is no duality at all. It's one and the same. So, less intelligent people, they are not aware of this fact that the plenary portion of Krishna is, or you can say expansion of Krishna is Brahma Jyoti, personal feature, and his expansion of Paramatma in everyone's heart, as Krishna himself, is one and only. But the intelligent people who has realized this as called Mahatma. So Srila Prabhupada is rightly quoting from 7.19 says Mahanas Kaundeya. Sorry. Bhuvanam Janmanam Ande Jnanamahamam Prapadyade Vasudeva Sarvamidi Samhatma Sudurlabha. So Vasudeva Sarvamidi, Krishna, or Vasudeva, is Sarva. He is all in all. He is Brahman, he is Paramatma, and he is Bhagwan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So those who have realized this, they are called Mahatmas, and of course in Srimad Bhagavatam we have the Mahajana also, 12 Mahajanas, and Bhishma Deva is one of the Mahajanas. So we have to follow the footsteps of Mahajanas. Both the neophyte devotees like us and the advanced devotees, everyone has to follow these Mahajanas, how Krishna is understood and realized. See, this is a great lesson for us. See how beautifully Bhishma is realizing Krishna. And he's so fortunate, he's so pure that Krishna personally appears before him as he's about to leave his body. So in the next verse, Sudha says, Krishna evam bhagavati manova drishti vrittivi atmanyatmanamavesha swandashwasa karma. Thus, Bhishma Deva merged himself into Super Soul Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight, and actions, and thus became silent and breathing stopped. So, merge means here, Srila explains, is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Or he absorbed himself, Atmena Avesha, Atmanam Aveshya. He is absorbed in Krishna, the charioteer, situated in his heart, Atmani. Atmani means his heart. And he is absorbing Krishna in the form of a charioteer. And this type of absorption is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So, he is totally absorbed in Krishna, and then he stops all the actions, all his jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, mind, everything is stopping, and his breathing is also stopping. So, this complete absorption in Krishna is the highest stage. And Srila Prabhupada very mercifully says that this perfection stage is possible for everyone who sincerely follows Navada devotion service. Explain Srimad Bhagavatam, of which hearing is the most important. So after understanding Bhagavad Gita first, where the philosophy is explained, Tattva is explained in 5 stages, in 5 different forms, or in different aspects, facets you can say. The 5 phases of the truth. We are remembering which are the 5 principles which are discussed in Bhagavad Gita. Melinda?
No, Prabhuji, I don't remember.
You should be knowing. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala and Karma. So the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita introduction itself, and we have discussed this so many times also. These are 5 principles which is basically discussed and which each covers whole aspect of Tattva. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala and Karma. So once you master the Tattva and understand instructions of Krishna towards end, and then you make this resolute decision to abide by the instruction of Krishna, follow the instruction, and mold your life in such a way that you are always following the Shastras only, words of Krishna only. Then Srila Prabhupada says there is no difference between seeing Krishna personally and understanding Krishna or obeying his instructions contained in Bhagavad Gita, and then the higher aspects of the devotional service, which is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. So first we have to understand Bhagavad Gita thoroughly, and then Srimad Bhagavatam. And Bhishma Deva epitomizes the perfect living entity, where he is very strict, he is jnana-oriented person, he is very strictly following the scriptures, spiritual instructions of Krishna. And finally, understanding. His realization. And this is what should be followed by every man. Or there will be no difference between human being and an animal. Only human beings are able to achieve this state. The animal is not. So this is a difference between human being and this dharma eva adhiga vishesho. Hidobhishan says dharma ega adhiga vishesho. That what do you call it? Distinguishes human being from an animal. So animal has no idea of the transcendental subjects, but human being only can do that. And if any human being is not doing it, he is not different from animal. So the last verse, Srila Prabhupada says, Sambhadyamajnaya Vishwam Brahmani Nishkale Sarve Bhuvaste Tushnim Vayamsi Vadinatye. So, knowing that Vishwadeva has emerged into unlimited entity of Supreme Absolute, all present, became silent like the birds at the end of the day. So, Srila Prabhupada says, Vishwadeva is entering into his house, original house. Vishwadeva has great attachment for his cherished form of Krishna as a charioteer, and he's attained that cherished form also. But people ignorant, not knowing this, thought that he has merged into Brahman. Actually, he has not merged into the Brahman or the personal glow of Krishna, but he has attained this form of Krishna as Parthasarthi. So, example of ignorance is given. Here, an example, Vayamsiva Dinate. He said that the birds think that the day has been destroyed at the end of the day because they cannot see it, became silent. So, after 6 o'clock in the evening, the birds think that day has been destroyed and they become very silent. But the day is now destroyed because 12 hours later, again the day will come. So, the ignorant think that Vishwadeva has passed away and attained liberation. They understand that at the very moment an invisible form of Bhishma fights on the ground with Krishna. So this is entered in Nitya Leela of Krishna, where he has realized this form of Krishna and is fighting the battleground because he is in the stewardess mood. He wants to fight with Krishna. So people think that when Bhishma Dev became silent, they thought that he has emerged into Brahman only. So one should not explain that Bhishma has entered Brahman since by giving something devoid of God, because his goal is Parthasarthi. And if he is given the Brahman realization, then he is devoid of his goal, and Lord never forces anything, any results possibly. Which means if Bhishma's goal is Parthasarthi, then Krishna will ensure that he attains that form only. He will not say that Bhishma attains a Brahman. So it is wrong to think that Bhishma has attained Brahman. He has attained his cherished goal only. So here, Srila Prabhupada makes another explanation also, because he says that when we are the material world, we are detached from Krishna, and if the parts and parcel of a machine, like nuts and bolts, become loose and get detached from the machine, it is no longer a part of the machine. Like that way, when we get detached from Krishna, from spiritual planets, we fall down material planets, we are disconnected with Krishna, and we are under the control of the Goshen. But people who have developed this Brahma Jnana, understanding this miserable life not for us, continuous miserable life of beauty cycle, some intelligent entities understand that this is very foolish, like a rat race. So somehow we have to get out of this, and then they follow the shastras under a bona fide spiritual master. This is the dawn of Brahma Jnana. And when you say that, yes, Brahmadeva's realized Brahman, we can understand that his Brahma Jignasa has blown into full proportion. So all those spiritualists like Ajnanis, yogis, and bhaktas have their own cherished objects. The Jnanis go for the personal glory, Jyoti. The yogis attain this Paramatma aspect, which are all purely portions of Krishna only, or expansions of Krishna. There is no difference between Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and Bhagavan realization. But both the former cases, Brahman and the Paramatma, there is no sweet relationship. Only in Krishna realization and Bhagavan relationship, there is a sweet personal relationship. And jivas, with this activity in its true sankalpa, its true nature, all worshipping and having eternal Krishna. So, Krishna realization, only with Krishna, Bhagavan realization only, can we have a sweet relation with Krishna, which is the real nature of Jiva. So you can say that realization of Bhishma Deva as a devotee who has attained his state of a chariot, supreme transcendentalist, who, because of purity, he could see Krishna personally before he left his body. Because even if Krishna not, we do it for Bhagavatam. End of our life, it also lies our personal goal. Thank you very much. Vaishnav, Nandi Vaishnav.